Really, really excited for Fireteam Finder. And the reason for that is because I remember that there were websites that you would go to say, hey, I want to play this particular activity. And you would do it outside of the game itself. So the Destiny 2 Final Shape has been officially delayed. So we're going to watch the update that game director Joe Blackburn had to say about what's happening with the series. And we're going to play that right now.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Blackburn, the game director for Destiny 2. I'm sure with the announcement today that the Final Shape is coming out on June 4th, there are a lot of questions on, hey, what's the team working on? What's the content that's coming out before June? So I wanted to step by down here in the stream room today and drop by with some classic Joe handwritten notes and talk about what we're doing between now and June. I think this is going to be a pretty short video, so I want to get right into it.
So now, before he gets right into it, I want to say that, I am glad that they're delaying what they need to delay to make sure it's going to be the best experience possible. I know whenever it comes to delays, we have a lot of, questions about that. And we have a lot of comments about that are not necessarily positive, but I'm glad that they're doing whatever that they need to do to make sure that the experience is going to be great for individuals who are going to come into the series for the first time or those who've been in the series for a long time.
Let's start with the obvious stuff. Tomorrow, Season of the Wish launches. We're super excited, not only about the story and the content of this season, but how it's going to roll into the Final Shape. So I hope the small army of you out there with your Last Wish raid jackets are wearing them with pride. I know I will be. Then, on Friday, we've got Warlord's Ruin. It's a new dungeon coming to Destiny 2 that I would love to talk to you all about, but because I'm at the studio, I'm like a little worried that someone from the Raiden Dungeon team is going to hear me and come barreling through the door. So we'll let you all see that for yourselves.
So a quick comment there. So new season comes out tomorrow, as he mentioned. I'm excited about that. But one of the things I wanted to do before this season wrapped up, especially with Trials, one of the weapons that I've been trying to get for a long time was the Messenger. And I finally got the Messenger, even though I don't play Trials like that. But if you're planning to get any particular weapon before everything changes over tomorrow, I would say now is the time, because you may not get that weapon opportunity. And the Pinnacle, I don't think they call it that anymore, but that's going to be a different weapon altogether. So get whatever you need to get right now.
Speaking of group content, let's talk Fireteam Finder real quick. Recently, we put out some messaging on how Fireteam Finder is going to roll out. I just wanted to give a little more context here. I don't think this is hyperbole when I say I think Fireteam Finder is going to change the way so many of you interact with Destiny 2 on a day-to-day basis. That being said, it's a pretty big technical change to the game. So I want to be really careful with how we roll this out. We're going to be doing limited windows with limited activities to start. This is going to allow us to collect the data we need, take it on, see how server stability is affected, take it off, make changes, and then roll it out better and better each time.
So I'm actually really, really excited for Fireteam Finder. And the reason for that is because I remember that there were websites that you would go to say, hey, I want to play this particular activity. And you would do it outside of the game itself. So the fact that they're incorporating that experience inside of Destiny, yes, they're rolling it out in segments and things of that nature. But the fact that they're going to have it in game is going to make it easy for me, who typically solo queues, to do some of the activities that I've been wanting to do. But because I don't have a team all the time to do them, this is going to make it a lot easier. So I'm excited for this one.
Ultimately, what we're going to be working towards is a version of Fireteam Finder that you can use for raids, dungeons, strikes, PvP, whatever you want that needs a group in the new year and right before the Final Shape. PvP. So last time we talked a bunch about PvP. I just wanted to give an update on where we are. We've got a Crucible Labs mode that we've been experimenting a lot with called Checkmate. We're going to do two things with Checkmate this year. We're going to take Checkmate and put it onto the core Crucible playlists. It's going to be like 6v6 control unranked. We want to see how the Checkmate rules that we've been experimenting with interact with a larger Crucible ecosystem. But ultimately, what we're trying to do with Checkmate is not create a third or a fourth way to play the game. Checkmate is all about a more deliberate Crucible. So we want to take the rule changes for Checkmate, be this slower ability recharge rate, or different rules around special ammo. We want to find the stuff that's working, and we want to start porting those rule changes over into the core Destiny 2 Crucible. This is about creating a Crucible that is more strategic, is more focused on your guns, and is more focused on the loadout that you're bringing in to fight with.
Okay, so I don't really venture off with Crucible Labs. The main mode that I tend to play by way of PvP would be Control. I hardly play Team Deathmatch. Okay. Trials, I went into Trials because I wanted the Messenger Pulse Rifle really, really bad. And I got a good roll on that one, right? So anything that they can do to make it easier for me to play Control-like gameplay in the Crucible format, I'm okay with, because I don't really venture off in a lot of different modes outside of Control. And Trials, if they introduce another, super pulse rifle in the future, I'll probably go back into that mode just for that. So I like the fact that they're streamlining things for PvP because most of the time I'm playing Control anyway. So
speaking of Crucible, let's talk maps. So not only do we have the Citadel coming to Destiny 2 this week, we also are still cranking out maps for the map pack that we talked about earlier this year. This is going to be coming out in the new year all at once. We've got 3 maps, one on Europa, one on Neomuna, and one on the Terraformed Pyramid. I actually got a chance to play test these again yesterday. I'm really excited about all of them. I think I did the best on the Europa map, but right now I think Neomuna is trending to be the sort of internal favorite. Really excited to see how all these get built and continued over development. Really excited for them to get in your hand. They're all sort of JAV 4 size. So we know we've been putting out a lot of larger maps. We want to put out maps that are going to be able to really excel in modes like Trials of Osiris and the competitive playlist to really balance out both these larger experiences and more, close quarters experiences as well.
So JAV 4 is a good map size, medium to long range sight lines, which I like. I'm not a sniper rifle guy. I'm more of a pulse rifle, mid range to long range guy. I may start venturing off and doing the hand cannon pistol combinations in the near future. So I'm actually excited for that. Maps like Infinite Forest, where is currently being played in Trials of Osiris right now, before the reset or before the 28th, right? That map is pretty fantastic. One of my favorite maps. JAV 4 is another good map as well. So I like those maps, especially for pulse rifles like the Jan 7 or the BXR Battler or, Bygones, things of that nature, Messenger or Last Perdition. And we can go down the list of some of the great pulse rifles that we've had, but let's continue.
Ultimately, this is not everything that we're doing in PvP, so keep your ear out for socials. We're trying to make sure that the Destiny 2 Crucible is built for those folks that love to log on and play Destiny PvP every single day. All right, let's see what's on page 2 here. I think the big question in everyone's mind is, okay, but Season of the Witch content is going to roll out. Talk to me about February through June. So starting in February, we're going to be rolling out more content that's available to anyone who plays Destiny 2. It's going to start slow in February with things like Moments of Triumph and a series of progression, reward-centric weekly quests we're calling wishes. I'll let the folks on Reddit theorize on what they think these wishes could be.
Okay, so Moments of Triumph, I really like that particular mode. So one of the things that I'm looking forward to is paying close attention to the gear sets that they're going to offer in these modes in the near future. That's going to allow us to have, a lot of resilience, a lot of mobility and things of that nature. I think that's going to be very critical for things that we're going to be able to do in modes like Moments of Triumph. But let's continue to see what else is going on.
Then in March, we're going to be pulling Guardian games in. And this year, it's got a revitalized focus on this sort of class v class competition that we think really is going to accelerate the creative and the excitement around the event. But ultimately, we're trying to get towards April and May. We're going to be talking about a new period of Destiny we're calling Destiny 2 Into the Light. Now, as we get closer to Into the Light, we're going to be talking more about it in the new year.
So Into the Light, even before I started catching the news of the day, I automatically thought that it was going to be something that's going to help individuals who've been playing the game already to remember what made Destiny great, in my opinion. And then from there, the individuals who are seeing Destiny for the first time and they're going to be wowed by everything Destiny has to offer. Those are my takes on that.
But this is really built not only for the folks that have played Destiny for 5,000 hours, but also for your friends, for your family, for people that are just getting into Destiny and want to prepare for the final shape. We're really excited about the content and rewards that are coming in this. So please stay tuned. We'll be talking more about what's happening in these sort of 2 months before the final shape as we get closer to them. But all of that aside, what most of the team is working on right now is what's coming out in June.
Okay, so what's coming out in June is the final shape. I just want to make a quick note here. When it comes to like the first quarter of the year, when it comes to certain games, there's usually a lull anyway, right? And I think that one thing I need to say about, Destiny 2, since this is like one of the main games that I play on a regular basis, they've done a great job to make sure that you have something to do in the game, regardless of if they're having multiple updates come out on a regular basis. So even when, I think they got the award for best community support. I think that there was some flack surrounding that. But when you look at the game overall, in terms of what it offers, and of course I'm biased because I play it all the time. So, I guess, sound off in the comments. I think they've done a pretty good job.
The final shape. We know there are high expectations for the way that we're going to put a bow on this 10-year saga of Destiny 2. We know that y'all are expecting awesome, gorgeous new locations, a bunch of new stuff to fight, and a bunch of new ways to fight it, all alongside a story that has to stand side by side with some of the best stories our studio has ever told. I'm going to be honest. We've been holding some cards close to our chest on this one, and I'm going to ask that you bear with us for a little bit longer, because we think a bunch of the systems and the gameplay that we want to talk about are things that you need to see, not just hear. So in April, when we come back with gameplay from the final shape, we want the game to speak for itself.
So I like the way that Joe said the game was delayed without saying that the game was delayed. I kind of like that. And however this, this feels like a conversation with Joe, a fireside with Joe. I don't know if there was like some lines to rehearse in terms of what to actually say here, if it was going to be less of a hit for the individuals who are waiting for the final shape and what's going to happen with that. Also with the fourth quarter of what took place at the company themselves. So even that I'm wording a particular way because of, things that have happened in the last couple of weeks. I think is very, very, strategic in nature and very well done, and how it was announced that the game was going to be delayed till June. So let's continue.
All right. I promised I wouldn't take as long this time. I've got a bunch of play tests to run to. So thanks so much for spending some time with me this morning. I am going to see all of y'all this week in Season of the Wish. Thanks again.
So I really enjoyed that. Hope you did too. Just, some comments, during that particular announcement. And I definitely want to do more of these. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you do that. And until next time, take care.